20 questions with
Andrea Hayes.
Andrea, welcome to 20 Questions with. How are you today?
I'm just well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Now, I hope you're ready for your 20 questions.
Well, is anyone ever ready for 20 questions?
No, probably not. It feels like, I hope it doesn't feel like an interrogation anyway. It's
As long as there's no math, I'll be fine.
Yeah. Okay.
Or sports questions. No sports questions.
Okay, I don't think I've got any actually, so you're safe. You're safe, Andrea.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Good. Okay.
Yeah. But that was just by default. That wasn't by design. Because I didn't know that would be a problem. So, but I don't think there are any. Yeah, so you're all right. Yeah. But before we go into the 20 questions, there's just two questions that are not part of it that I'd like to ask you that I think other people will be interested in, and I'm certainly interested in knowing.
All right.
Now, you played a German character in a famous TV series in the 90s, and I just wondered, have you got any German ancestry?
Well, my mother's maiden name was Zerung, so yes.
Ah.
Which is why Heidi's last name is Zerung.
Oh, that's intriguing.
Zehrung.
So did you get some tips from your mum to do the accent, or were you quite proficient at it anyway?
Oh, no, my family had left Germany, and it was way up. In the 1600s, they came to America. So.
Oh, I see, a long time ago.
Yeah. So only thing left over was the name.
Yeah. So, well, thank you
and the blonde hair.
The blonde, yeah, exactly, yeah. And the other question is, right, that I noticed that you have a nickname, and could you tell me the nickname and what is the story behind it?
It's Tanta, which is aunt in several languages. And when I became an aunt for the first time, I said I want to be known as Tanta because Aunt Andrea or Aunt Andrea would be very hard for people to say. And now I've become everybody's eccentric maiden aunt. So people call me Tanta.
Tanta. It's nice. It's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
So again,
it's fun.
Thank you for clearing that up, Andrea, because I had no idea what it meant. So.
Oh yeah.
Right. So here we go with your 20 questions, Andrea. Stand by.
Okay.
Here we go. What's your favourite alcoholic beverage?
A lot. I like whiskey.
You're a whiskey, yeah. Do you like
I'm
it?
a whiskey drinker.
Do you have it with a mixer, or do you like it straight?
Straight, neat. No ice.
Oh my God! Oh, you're
dirty glass. No,
You're
I'm from the Wild West, So.
Yeah, you're hardcore. You're hardcore, Andrea, by the sound of it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
That's it. Yeah, straight whiskey, mate. Yeah. What is your favourite meal? And don't say a lot, please.
No,
Narrow it down. Narrow it down.
My favorite meal, gosh. Well, I'm a big cheeseburger fan. It's pretty obvious.
Oh. Yeah. Well, I like cheese and I like burgers, but not always together, but some combination. Yeah.
I know it's such a typically American thing to say. Cheeseburger.
Yeah. But I mean, for instance, what meal do you enjoy cooking? I mean, do you have a particular meal that you like to do?
Enjoy cooking? Well, I worked so long as a nurse with 16-hour shifts. I didn't really cook a lot, frozen meals. But I've been cooking lately, and been making pasta lately with smoked paprika. So there you go.
Oh, very nice.
I don't know what you'd call it.
I was told to put in turmeric. I think that's the right pronunciation. Turmeric.
Oh, yeah,
Supposed to be very good for you.
Ginger.
It's supposed to be very good for the digestive system or something, I believe.
Yes, ginger and turmeric are, I drink that tea a lot.
So I tend to add it to food quite a lot when I'm, doing anything. I put it in as a spice,
Well, everybody's been adding it to their lattes here lately, so I'm just like,
oh, really?
Okay.
I don't think I'd like it in a drink so much. I think it's okay in food because you don't, even though it's in there, you don't get overpowered by the taste of it, you know.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, when you're having a bad day, Andrea, what do you like to do to make yourself feel better?
Kill someone.
That's probably the best answer I've ever heard, actually.
Do some sort of art therapy. I do a lot of art.
Now I'd like to see some of your art at some point, and I hope you can send me a couple of little things,
right.
please. Yeah, yeah, because that's one thing I'm envious of, in a good way, I mean. But I'm so admire people who can paint or draw because it's something I'm absolutely useless at. You know?
I do pottery and metalsmithing and crochet and a little bit of glass bead work and yeah.
God, you really are like multi-talented, aren't you? Yeah.
Either that or a short attention span.
Here's a good one, Andrea. Well, I hope it is anyway. What's the worst chat-up line someone has ever said to you?
Oh boy.
Was that it? Oh, sorry.
Like the worst?
Yeah.
Boy, I'll have to go in the Wayback Machine.
It's better than saying the best. I think the worst is more funny.
I remember this guy came up and he's like, haven't we slept somewhere together before?
Oh,
and
God.
I just thought, what? That's an odd one.
that is a very odd one, right?
That was a very odd one. I guess that would be it, yeah.
Bloody hell. Because they come out with some crazy ones, don't they? God. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was the odd, because I had to think about it. It's like, I'm sorry, what? And I guess it was meant to start a conversation, but I just kind of turned and walked away because I was like, okay, whatever, I think you're drunk.
You had too many whiskies by the sound of it, yeah.
It probably did, yeah. Can't hold it.
Or possibly something else in there as well, which is a bit suspect. I don't know. But, what would your perfect vacation be?
Camping.
Yeah.
In solitude. I mean, not in like a car park or something, but I used to love to go out and camp at Lake Cushman. Just go swimming, have a stack of books, and that's it. Just not be bothered.
That is perfect, actually, because one thing we don't get one thing we don't get much of, Andrea, in this life is an escape, you know, with complete silence or solitude. You know, there's too many distractions, you know, and noise.
Yep.
And I think we all need a bit of that to get away, you know. What's your favourite film or films? I mean, you don't have to go. You can just narrow it down to what you think really stood out for you, you know.
One that let's see. Gosh, that's a hard one because it depends on the genre. I'm, being a filmmaker, I'm like, eh.
Okay, what sort of genre are you a particular fan of?
Well, I do a lot of horror and horror comedy films. I guess the film I could watch again and again is Trip to Bountiful with Geraldine Page.
Okay.
It's beautiful.
And how about a horror film?
I like the Evil Dead 2, or Evil Dead 2. I like the Evil Dead series, the horror comedy where it's just silly. I don't like horror porn.
No, I can't stand that sort of stuff.
It needs, yeah.
I don't like it either. I can't watch stuff like Hostel or anything like that. It's just sickening.
Yeah, no, it's just like, let's just go cut people up and let's not have a story or anything.
There needs to be something behind it. There needs to be, as you well know, doing filmmaking, Andrea, there needs to be character, there needs to be plot of some sort. There has to be.
Right.
It can't just be like, let's just be as graphically violent as we can, just for the sake of being graphically violent. Right. And there's no substance to it, and that's boring.
It is. And I always joke that I've made more horror films than I've watched. So no.
If you could invite one famous person, alive or dead, around for dinner, who would it be and why?
There's too many. I would love to have met Lillian Gish.
Oh yes, the silent film star, wasn't she? I believe.
Nursing Nicole.
Yeah.
The silent film star. And just,
Yeah.
I always wanted to meet her. Just so gorgeous, and something about her, which is why everyone was drawn to her. But it'd be very interesting to sit down and talk with her about her adventures.
She had wonderful big eyes, didn't she? That's one thing that stood out for me with her. Yeah.
And if you've ever seen The Wind, that's a pretty good one.
Oh, I have seen that. That is really good. For something that's
Broken Blossoms, of course, is the one that everybody always says, but I like The Wind.
Yeah, that's great. Anyone that hasn't seen The Wind, by the way, we highly recommend it. It's a silent movie with Lillian Gish. It's really, really very, very effective. Considering there's no sound, no dialogue, just music and effect, it's really good.
Yes.
Now, what was your favourite childhood toy?
Brushy, and he's still with me. My little bunny that I got when I was 3, stuffed rabbit, and he's very worse for the wear, but he's on a shelf in my bedroom still. So.
Well, it's amazing you still got him. Because I lost loads of toys I used to have.
Yeah.
I haven't got any of them now. I don't think.
Yeah, he's my favorite.
What's the best piece of advice that you've ever been given?
Can I swear?
Yeah.
My mother always used to tell us, if you ever get hit with a bucket of shit, make sure to close your eyes.
I would also advise to close your mouth as well when that happens.
Well, yeah.
That because that would.
My mother was a very funny woman.
Yeah, she sounds it. Yeah. The beach or the woods?
The wood.
Do dreams have meanings?
Yes.
And what's your feelings on that? Why do you think that?
I think it's your subconscious. So, I'll have a weird dream, and then I'll sit and think about it. What are you trying to tell yourself? And work things out.
If you could time travel to one place in the past, where would it be and why?
Do I follow the standard time travel rules, and it can't be someplace I've been?
It can be either in your timeline or anywhere really. It's up to you.
If I could zap right out, I'd like to go to Pompeii in 79 AD, and just start to watch the explosion, and then get away right before. I don't know why.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Someday I'll go visit that place. You can.
Well, obviously, make sure you get your passport first, and
Yes, I do have to do that.
That's the first thing on your list. Yeah.
Yes.
Now, Andrea, why does a round pizza come in a square box?
To confuse you.
Yeah, it does that to me. Yeah.
I just think the pizza people don't want these geometric shapes to feel guilty or sad, and so, it's we have round boxes and round pizzas, and the squares and the triangles. So the little thing in the middle to keep the lid from sticking to the pizza is a triangle. So see, you have your basic geometric shapes all in harmony. Ooh, that's deep.
Yeah, and going even deeper than that. Do you think you and I could open up a restaurant, right, where we sell square pizzas in round boxes?
It might be a little harder. The box would have to be. Oh, see, I was told there'd be no math, and now you're having me figure out area.
Yeah, I just wondered if it would. I just wondered if it would take off.
Or maybe a tetrahedron pizza in a parallelogram box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now you
About
really,
that.
now
Or a
you're really,
geodesic dome deep dish. Yeah.
no, you're really blowing my mind, Andrea. Yeah. with all that maths, yeah. Um, do you believe in ghosts? And if so, have you ever seen one?
I do, and yes, I have. I grew up in a famous haunted house that has been in books and under investigation and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's very odd. Plus, I've seen a lot. I was a hospice nurse for years and years, and so I've seen a lot of weird stuff around death, and so it's kind of like, it's got to change my opinion on things. So.
Is there anything in particular that stands out?
Well, when my mom died, she came to say goodbye, so that was nice.
They say I don't know this, where the truth lies in it, whether it's just our imagination or whatever. But
could be hope, and that's okay because then I hoped enough, and whatever it was, it made me happy.
Yeah.
And so the people who don't believe it are like, well, I guess you had to be there because it made me happy. So.
Now, I often hear that people say that deceased loved ones visit them in dreams. I've heard that quite a lot.
Oh, all the time, yeah, in dreams all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
Her grandmother was also a famous medium who believed in the afterlife, so come from a long line of people who are like, oh no, expect that, so then it will be. So.
What's the most beautiful place you've ever been to, without a passport?
That's easy. The Blue Glacier up in Alaska.
Oh.
I actually made a glaze for pottery named after it, called Glacier, and everybody in the studio loves to use it. It's so inspiring. It's like even just the sound and even the smell of it just took my breath away.
Yeah, that sounds lovely. It really does. Yeah. Are you afraid of clowns?
No. I work at a haunted house. I work at Nile Nightmares Haunted House, and we have a whole clown room. So I even have to make them up and put them in costumes. So there you go.
So that kind of
not afraid at all.
It sensitizes you to it, or whatever. Yeah.
They've never bothered me. Plus, I like Killer Clowns from Outer Space. That film. Another one if you haven't seen it.
I have seen that. It's completely nuts.
Yeah, everyone should see that because that's hysterical and yeah.
It is. It is very funny.
Yes.
If you had a superhero power, what would it be and why?
I've always, I don't know if it's superhero, but the ability to understand any language and speak any language. People who speak multiple languages, I'm envious.
That actually is a really good gift to have, really, isn't it? Because you could literally travel anywhere and just be able to speak, and understand.
Yes.
That would be quite amazing. Yeah, yeah. Without without the struggle of having to learn certain things,
Right, and be able to understand people. And I think being a nurse too, I've had people be like, be easier to understand you if I could understand you. And I do sign language. It's a language I took in college, and then I took French like 40 years ago, so I don't know much anymore.
Yeah,
I could probably order an omelet, but they might bring me a shoe. I don't know.
What was the first concert you ever went to?
I used to go to the Symphony a lot, but for rock concerts, it was Nina Hagen opening for X.
No, neither one of those I know.
Big actual, yeah.
And when was that, Andrea?
First time I was in Tottenham Mosh, but this was in 1985.
Ah,
okay. Up at the Seattle's Bumbershoot Festival that they have.
I see.
Now
Yeah.
it costs over $100 to get in, and then it was $3.
Oh God, have times changed in that way? God, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it really inflated now. Concert prices. It's just ludicrous.
Oh, yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, this was the music festival they have over Labor Day, and it was great. I got to see Cab Calloway and Roy Orbison, and just you pay your ticket $3, and then you could see all these people. Now it's just ridiculously priced. And,
it is.
anyway, lamenting.
Indeed. Yeah. Are you a leader or a follower?
I am a leader. Although I will follow if need be, but I'm a better leader.
Yeah, I could see that. What's the most courageous thing you've done so far?
Moved to Seattle when I didn't know anyone, didn't have a job or an apartment. I just kind of threw a dart at the map, and I finished college, and I'd never lived in a big city before, and so I went, I'm going to try it.
Yeah.
So yes, it was scary because didn't know anyone, and just on my own in the big city. Little girl getting off the Greyhound bus with dreams. Oh.
It is pretty scary. It is very scary. I mean,
It was, yeah. I don't think I could do that again.
No, I think when you're younger, it's a little easier to challenge yourself like that, you know.
Yes.
To see the whole wide world ahead of you and take risks like that. But I think the older you get, the more settled you get, I guess, you know.
Yeah. I have fear now.
Yeah. So, Andrea, that is your 20.
Yes?
That is your 20 questions.
Yay!
You have done it, and you have.
Yay! Do I get a gold star?
And you have survived, and you would get a T-shirt saying "I survived 20 questions," coming in the mail very soon. Yeah.
Yay!
So I want to thank you, Andrea, very much for joining me on 20 Questions. It's been lovely talking to you.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this 20 Questions. It's been an absolute thrill to do these, and I do appreciate you all listening. So we've got a couple of things to do here. So excuse me a moment. Heidi!
Yeah.
Heidi, we need to jump in your car because we want to go. We want to go to the Double R.
Oh yeah, I'm late.
Right, Andrea, come with us. Let's hop in.
Can't get my car started.
What? Hold on a second, love. Let me have a look at it. Right, there we go.
It's so good. Are you married?
No, I'm single actually, Heidi. So you never know your luck.